Monday, May 4, 2026. This is not just another morning. This is a divine appointment with destiny, a moment where heaven's agenda intersects with your life. And I declare that something is about to shift in your favor as you position yourself in prayer. You did not arrive here by accident. You were summoned by purpose, drawn by the Spirit, because this week carries blessings with your name on them. And today is the day you step into alignment with what God has already prepared. I need you to understand that breakthrough is not a random occurrence. It is a spiritual transaction, a divine response to intentional alignment. And as you open your heart in this moment, you are activating a supernatural flow that will dismantle delays, uproot limitations, and position you to walk boldly into every promise that has been waiting for your arrival. There are blessings that have been held up, not denied. And today we are issuing a divine command that every obstruction must move, every barrier must break, and every closed door that carries your name must begin to open. This is the week where stagnation is broken and movement begins, where what felt heavy becomes light and what seemed impossible becomes your testimony. I speak to every area of your life, your finances, your health, your relationships, your purpose, and I decree that this is a week of divine advancement. You will not remain where you were. You are stepping forward into a dimension of favor that cannot be explained by human logic, but can only be attributed to the hand of God moving on your behalf. As you engage in this prayer, I want you to shift your expectation. Do not pray from a place of doubt. Pray from a position of authority. You are not begging for blessings. You are aligning with what has already been released. Heaven has already spoken. Now you are coming into agreement with that word. Every cycle of delay is being broken. Every pattern of limitation is being dismantled. And every force that tried to keep you confined is losing its grip right now. This is your moment to rise, to step out, and to occupy the space that God has already ordained for you this week. And as a prophetic act of faith, I want you to do something intentional. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily prayer, because you are declaring that you will remain consistent in your spiritual alignment, that you will not miss what God is doing in this season of your life. There is a blessing with your name on it, and it will not be transferred, it will not be delayed, and it will not be denied. This week you will see evidence, you will experience acceleration, and you will walk in a level of favor that confirms that God has gone ahead of you. If you believe this is your week of breakthrough, type boldly in the comments. I step into my blessings this week. There is a sacred moment that unfolds when a soul chooses alignment over assumption. When a heart turns away from distraction and intentionally leans into the rhythm of heaven. In this moment, you are not merely listening. You are positioning yourself. You are calibrating your spirit to resonate with divine instruction. And I declare that as you yield, as you quiet every competing voice, as you lay down every weight that has tried to define your pace, you are entering into a flow where clarity replaces confusion and purpose overrides pressure. This is the posture of surrender, not as weakness, but as strength refined, because surrender is the gateway through which divine authority is established in your life. You are not losing control. You are transferring control to the one who sees the end from the beginning. Every time you say, not my will, but yours be done, you are stepping into a dimension where outcomes are no longer dictated by human limitation, but by divine orchestration. There is a release that comes when you stop striving and start aligning, when you stop forcing and start flowing, when you stop carrying what was never assigned to you and begin to embrace what has already been ordained. And in this sacred exchange, burdens are lifted, clarity is restored, and direction becomes undeniable. The noise of life has a way of pulling you out of alignment, filling your mind with urgency that is not rooted in purpose, convincing you that you must rush, react, and respond without seeking divine counsel. But today, you are making a conscious decision to silence the noise, to step away from the pressure, and to enter into a place where your spirit can hear clearly. Because alignment requires stillness, and stillness births revelation. It is in this posture that strategies are released, that hidden things are revealed, and that you begin to see not just what is happening, but why it is happening. You are not here by accident, and this week is not random. There is an intentional design woven into every moment, and as you align yourself, you begin to move in sync with that design. Doors will not just open randomly. They will open because you are standing where you are supposed to stand. Opportunities will not just appear without reason. They will manifest because you are walking in agreement with divine timing. Alignment is what positions you to receive what has already been prepared. The word declares in Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. This is not a suggestion. This is an instruction for alignment. When you trust beyond what you can comprehend, when you submit beyond what you can control, you activate a divine recalibration that straightens every crooked path, that redirects every misstep, and that ensures you arrive exactly where you are meant to be. And I decree that as you trust, as you submit, as you align, every crooked place in your life is being made straight. There are areas where you have tried to figure it out on your own, spaces where you have leaned on your own understanding, and in doing so, you have felt the weight of uncertainty. But today, that weight is being lifted because you are choosing a higher way. You are choosing to say, God, I release my plans, I release my expectations, I release my need to control outcomes, and I receive your will. And in that moment of release, something shifts. Anxiety loses its grip, fear loses its voice, and peace takes its rightful place. Surrender is not passive. It is an active declaration that you trust God more than you trust your circumstances. It is a bold statement that says, even when I don't see it, I believe you are working. Even when I don't understand it, I trust your wisdom. Even when it feels delayed, I know it is not denied. And this kind of surrender positions you to experience breakthroughs that cannot be explained by logic because they are rooted in obedience. Romans 12:2 declares, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Alignment begins in the mind. It begins when you reject patterns that are not aligned with truth, when you dismantle thoughts that contradict God's promises, and when you intentionally renew your thinking to match what heaven has spoken. Because you cannot walk in alignment while thinking in contradiction. Your thoughts must come into agreement with your assignment, and as your mind is renewed, your actions begin to follow. You begin to move differently, to speak differently, to respond differently, because alignment is not just internal, it manifests externally. People will notice the shift, not because you announced it, but because it is evident in the way you carry yourself, in the peace you exude, in the confidence you walk in. Alignment produces a visible transformation that cannot be hidden. Every distraction that has tried to pull you away from your purpose is being exposed right now. Every subtle influence that has attempted to dilute your focus is losing its power. You are gaining clarity, you are regaining focus, and you are reclaiming your position. Because when you are aligned, you are not easily moved, you are not easily shaken, you are not easily distracted. You are anchored, you are steady, and you are intentional. This is your moment to recalibrate, to realign, to reset. You are stepping into a week where your decisions will be guided, where your steps will be ordered, and where your outcomes will reflect divine intention. And as you continue in this posture, you will begin to see things fall into place, not because you forced them, but because you aligned with them. Open the comment section right now and type with intention, Island with God willed this week, as a prophetic act of agreement, because when you declare it, you are sealing your posture, and your voice becomes a point of contact that activates what you are believing for, and others will be strengthened by your declaration as they see your faith in motion. There is a dimension of living that many observe but few truly occupy, and it is the dimension of spiritual authority, the place where you are no longer reacting to life, but you are responding from a position of dominion, from a posture that understands who you are and whose you are. In this moment, you are not approaching prayer as a spectator. You are stepping into your rightful position as one who has been authorized, empowered, and commissioned to speak, to declare, and to establish. Authority is not noise. It is alignment expressed through confident declaration. It is the evidence that you have come into agreement with heaven, and you are now echoing what has already been decreed. You were never created to live beneath your potential, intimidated by circumstances or silenced by opposition. There is a divine imprint on your life that carries authority, and today you are awakening to that reality. You are rising out of passivity, out of hesitation, out of uncertainty, and you are stepping into a place where your voice carries weight in the spirit. When you speak, you are not speaking empty words. You are releasing intention. You are issuing commands. You are aligning the seen with the unseen. The word declares in Luke 10:19, I have given you authority to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. This is not symbolic language. This is a legal empowerment, a transfer of authority that places you above what once tried to dominate you. And as you internalize this truth, something shifts within you. Fear begins to dissolve, intimidation loses its grip, and boldness rises, not from arrogance, but from revelation. You begin to understand that you are not fighting for victory. You are enforcing victory. There have been moments where you felt overpowered, where situations seemed louder than your faith, where opposition felt stronger than your confidence. But today, you are no longer measuring your reality by what you see. You are measuring it by what has been spoken over you. Authority requires a shift in perspective. It requires you to stop magnifying the problem and start magnifying the power that resides within you. Because when you recognize that greater is He that is in you, every opposing force must come into submission. Authority is exercised through your words. What you declare matters. What you speak carries creative power. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. And when you speak from a place of authority, you are not just describing your situation, you are defining it. You are setting boundaries in the spirit. You are establishing outcomes. You are declaring what will and will not be tolerated in your life. This is why your words must be intentional, aligned, and anchored in truth. You are not called to negotiate with what has already been defeated. You are not called to reason with what has already been stripped of its power. You are called to stand, to speak, and to enforce what has already been accomplished. Every time you declare truth over your life, you are reinforcing your authority. Every time you reject a lie, you are strengthening your position. Every time you stand firm, you are demonstrating that you understand your identity. Ephesians 6:10 reminds you, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Strength is not something you manufacture. It is something you access. It is the result of connection, of remaining rooted, of staying aligned. And as you draw from that strength, you are able to stand in the face of pressure, to remain steady in the midst of uncertainty, and to speak with confidence even when circumstances try to contradict you. There are areas in your life that have been waiting for your authority to show up. Situations that have lingered, not because they are permanent, but because they have not yet been confronted with the level of authority that shifts them. And today, that changes. Today, you are stepping into those spaces with a renewed awareness, with a heightened confidence, with a clarity that says, I will not be moved. I will not be shaken. I will not be silenced. You are not begging for change. You are declaring it. You are not hoping for movement. You are commanding it. You are not waiting for permission. You have already been authorized. And as you begin to operate from this place, you will notice a shift, not just around you, but within you. Your posture changes, your tone changes, your expectation changes. You begin to walk differently because you understand that you carry something that cannot be ignored. Every limiting voice that tried to define you is being silenced. Every internal narrative that told you that you are not enough, that you are not capable, that you are not qualified is being dismantled right now. Because authority is rooted in identity. And when you know who you are, you cannot be easily convinced otherwise. You are not who your past says you are. You are not who your fears say you are. You are who God says you are. And that identity carries power. As you move through this week, you will not shrink back. You will not second guess what has been placed within you. You will step forward with confidence, knowing that you are backed by heaven, that you are supported by divine power, that you are equipped for every situation you will encounter. And as you speak, as you declare, as you stand, you will begin to see things shift in ways that confirm that your authority is active. Open the comment section and type with bold intention. I walk in divine authority, because when you declare it publicly, you are reinforcing it internally. And your declaration becomes a seed that not only strengthens your faith, but ignites courage in others who will read your words and rise into their authority as well. There is a quiet transformation that begins the moment you decide that your mind will no longer be a battlefield of confusion, but a sanctuary of truth. a place where divine thoughts are welcomed and limiting beliefs are dismantled. Right now, you are stepping into that sacred space where your thinking is being realigned, where every thought that has tried to keep you bound is being challenged, and where a new pattern is being established, one that reflects possibility, clarity, and expectation. Because breakthrough does not begin in your circumstances. It begins in your mind, in the way you perceive, interpret, and respond to what is in front of you. You have carried thoughts that were never assigned to you, ideas that were shaped by past disappointments, words that were spoken over you in moments of vulnerability, and conclusions that were formed in seasons where you did not yet understand your worth. But today there is a separation taking place. You are discerning what aligns with truth and what must be released. You are no longer allowing old narratives to dictate new outcomes. You are choosing to think differently, to see differently, to expect differently. The mind is powerful because it influences direction. What you consistently think about will eventually shape how you live. And this is why renewal is not optional. It is essential. Romans 12:2 declares, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Transformation is not accidental. It is intentional. It is the result of choosing truth over assumption, of replacing fear with faith, of rejecting negativity and embracing what is life-giving. And as you renew your mind, you begin to experience a shift that is both internal and external. There are patterns that have repeated in your life, cycles that seemed unbreakable, not because you lacked potential, but because the mindset remained unchanged. But today, that cycle is interrupted. Today, you are stepping out of repetition and into revelation. You are no longer thinking from a place of limitation. You are thinking from a place of possibility. You are no longer expecting the worst. You are preparing for the best because your expectation sets the tone for your experience. Every thought that tells you it won't work, every whisper that says you're not ready, every internal voice that tries to convince you to settle, those thoughts are being confronted right now. You are not entertaining them. You are not agreeing with them. You are not giving them space. Instead, you are replacing them with truth, with declarations that align with who you are becoming. You are saying, I am capable. I am prepared. I am positioned. And as you speak, your mind begins to respond. 2 Corinthians 10:5 reminds you to take every thought captive and make it obedient. This is an active process. It means you do not allow thoughts to roam freely without evaluation. You examine them, you test them, and if they do not align with truth, you remove them. Because not every thought deserves your attention, and not every idea deserves your agreement. You have the authority to choose what stays and what goes. Your mind is not a storage for fear. It is a space for faith. It is not a container for doubt. It is a vessel for vision. And as you begin to see your mind this way, you become more intentional about what you allow in. You become selective with your focus, disciplined in your thinking, and consistent in your renewal. Because you understand that what you feed will grow and what you starve will weaken. There is a clarity that is emerging as you renew your mind. Decisions that once felt overwhelming are becoming simpler. Paths that once seemed unclear are becoming defined. This is what happens when your thinking aligns with truth. You begin to see with precision, to move with confidence, to act with assurance. You are no longer second-guessing every step. You are walking with a sense of direction that is rooted in clarity. This week, you will not be led by fear. You will be guided by truth. You will not be driven by pressure. You will be directed by purpose. Your mind will not be cluttered with confusion. It will be filled with clarity. And as this shift takes place, you will notice a difference in how you respond to challenges. What once intimidated you will no longer have the same effect. What once caused hesitation will now be met with confidence. You are thinking at a higher level now. You are processing from a place of understanding. You are responding from a place of peace. And this is not temporary. This is a new pattern being established, a pattern of clarity, of confidence, of consistency. Because when your mind is renewed, your life begins to reflect that renewal. Every time you choose a thought that aligns with truth, you are strengthening this new pattern. Every time you reject a lie, you are weakening the old one. And over time, this becomes your default. You begin to naturally think in ways that support your growth, that reinforce your identity, that align with your purpose. This is how transformation becomes sustainable through consistent renewal. You are not who you used to be, and your thinking is no longer confined to old limitations. You are expanding, you are evolving, you are stepping into a mindset that matches where you are going. And as you continue in this process, you will find that what once seemed out of reach is now within grasp, not because the opportunity changed, but because your perception did. Open the comment section and type with clarity and intention. My mind is reread for breakthrough, because when you declare it, you are reinforcing this transformation. And your words will serve as a reminder to others that change begins in the mind and that they too can step into a renewed way of thinking. There is a gentle yet powerful work that begins within you when you allow your emotions to come into alignment with truth. When you no longer suppress what you feel, but instead invite divine healing into every hidden space of your heart. This is not a moment of weakness. This is a moment of restoration. You are stepping into a place where what has been buried is being uncovered, not to harm you, but to heal you. Because what is acknowledged can be transformed, and what is surrendered can be restored. You have carried emotions that were never meant to stay this long, weights from past disappointments, echoes of words that cut deeper than they should have, memories that resurface at unexpected moments. And over time, you learned how to function with them, how to move forward while still carrying fragments of what hurt you. But today, you are not just moving forward, you are being made whole. Today, you are releasing what no longer serves you, and you are receiving what restores you. Healing does not always come in loud moments. Sometimes it comes quietly, gently, as you sit in the presence of God and allow Him to touch the places you have guarded. There is a softening happening within you, a release of tension, a letting go of the need to hold everything together on your own. And in that release, you are creating space for peace, space for joy, space for restoration. Psalm 147:3 declares, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This is not distant. This is personal. It means that every emotion you have felt, every tear you have shed, every moment where you felt unseen or unheard, none of it has been ignored. There is a divine awareness of your heart, and there is a divine response to your pain. And as you open yourself in this moment, healing begins to flow. You are not defined by what hurt you. You are not limited by what you experienced. You are not bound by what tried to break you. Those moments were chapters, not conclusions. And today, you are turning the page. You are stepping into a new chapter where your emotions are no longer controlled by past events, but are anchored in present truth. There are emotions that have influenced your decisions, shaped your reactions, and affected your perspective. But as healing takes place, those influences begin to shift. You begin to respond from a place of peace instead of pain, from a place of clarity instead of confusion, from a place of wholeness instead of hurt. This is the evidence of healing, not that the past never happened, but that it no longer controls you. Matthew 11:28 says, Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. This invitation is for you right now. It is an invitation to lay down the emotional weight you have been carrying, to release the burdens that have drained your energy, and to receive a rest that restores your soul. This is not temporary relief. This is deep restoration that reaches into the core of who you are. You are allowed to feel, but you are not meant to remain stuck in what you feel. Emotions are indicators, not dictators. They reveal what needs attention, but they do not have the authority to control your direction. And as you bring your emotions into alignment, you are reclaiming that authority. You are saying, I acknowledge what I feel, but I will not be led by it. I will be guided by truth. There is a release happening right now. Old pain is losing its grip. Lingering sadness is being lifted. Hidden frustration is being dissolved. And in its place, there is a peace that settles gently but firmly. A peace that does not depend on circumstances, but is rooted in presence. This peace becomes your foundation, your anchor, your steady place. You are becoming emotionally whole, not because everything around you is perfect, but because everything within you is being aligned. You are no longer fragmented by past experiences. You are being unified in purpose and in peace. And as this wholeness develops, you will notice a difference in how you carry yourself, in how you engage with others, in how you approach situations that once triggered you. This week, you will not react from old wounds. You will not speak from unresolved pain. You will not make decisions based on past hurt. Instead, You will move from a place of healing, from a place of clarity, from a place of peace. And this shift will open doors that were once closed because emotional alignment creates space for relational and personal breakthrough. Every time you choose peace over reaction, you are reinforcing your healing. Every time you release instead of holding on, you are strengthening your freedom. Every time you trust instead of fearing, you are deepening your restoration. This is a process, but it is a process that is already in motion, already unfolding, already producing results. You are not alone in this. There is a presence with you, guiding you, strengthening you, restoring you. And as you continue to yield, to trust, to release, you will find that what once felt heavy is becoming lighter. What once felt overwhelming is becoming manageable. What once felt broken is becoming whole. Open the comment section and type with intention, "My heart is healed and whole," because when you declare it, you are partnering with your healing. And your words will not only affirm your restoration, but also encourage someone else who is silently carrying pain to believe that healing is possible for them too. There is a divine economy that operates beyond the limitations of this world. A system not governed by scarcity, but sustained by abundance. And as you enter this moment of prayer, you are aligning yourself with that higher reality, where provision is not uncertain, but assured, where supply is not seasonal, but consistent, where increase is not accidental, but intentional. You are stepping into an understanding that your source is not confined to what you see, not limited to what you earn, not dependent on human systems, but anchored in the limitless capacity of God to provide, sustain, and multiply. For too long, there have been thoughts that suggested lack, that whispered insufficiency, that tried to convince you that there would never be enough. But today, those thoughts are being replaced with truth. You are shifting from a mindset of survival to a posture of abundance, from worrying about what is missing to recognizing what is already in motion. Because when you understand your source, you no longer panic over resources. You no longer operate from fear. You move in faith and confidence and expectation. The word declares in Philippians 4:19, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." This is not partial provision. This is complete supply. It means that every area of your life, every need, every requirement, every concern is already accounted for in the abundance of heaven. And as you come into agreement with this truth, you begin to experience a shift. Anxiety gives way to peace. Fear is replaced with faith. And uncertainty is exchanged for confidence. There are financial patterns that have repeated in your life, cycles of limitation that seem difficult to break, moments where provision felt delayed or insufficient. But today, there is an interruption in that pattern. Today, you are stepping into a new flow, a flow of increase, of opportunity, of unexpected provision. You are no longer confined to what has been. You are stepping into what can be, into what is already prepared for you. You are not just asking for provision. You are aligning with it. You are positioning yourself to receive what has already been released. There are resources that are being directed towards you, opportunities that are being arranged, connections that are being established, all working together to bring you into a place of financial stability and growth. And as you remain aligned, you will begin to see these things manifest in ways that confirm that you are not forgotten, that you are not overlooked, that you are fully provided for. 2 Corinthians 9:8 declares, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." This is overflow with purpose. It is not just about having enough for yourself. It is about having more than enough so that you can be a blessing to others. It is about being positioned in a way where your life becomes a channel through which provision flows, not just to you, but through you. You are breaking free from the mindset that says there is not enough. You are stepping into the understanding that there is more than enough, that there is always supply, that there is always a way. And as this mindset takes root, your decisions begin to reflect it. You begin to act with wisdom, to steward what you have with intention, to recognize opportunities that you may have overlooked before. Because abundance is not just about what comes to you. It is also about how you manage what is already in your hands. There is a wisdom being released to you in this moment, a clarity that guides your financial decisions, that helps you discern what to pursue, what to release, what to invest in, what to step away from. You are not navigating blindly. You are being led, directed, instructed. And as you follow that guidance, you will find yourself making choices that align with increase, that support growth, that position you for long-term stability. This week, you will not be driven by fear when it comes to your finances. You will not make decisions out of panic or pressure. Instead, you will move with confidence, with clarity, with assurance that you are supported, that you are provided for, that you are positioned for breakthrough. And as you move in this way, you will begin to see results that reflect that alignment. There are doors of opportunity that are opening, avenues of income that are being revealed, ideas that are being released into your mind, ideas that carry the potential for growth, for expansion, for increase. Pay attention to those ideas. Nurture them. Act on them. Because they are part of the provision that is being made available to you. You are not limited to one source. You are not confined to one stream. There is a diversification happening, an expansion that allows you to experience provision from multiple directions. And as this unfolds, you will find that what once felt tight is becoming spacious. What once felt restricted is becoming open. What once felt uncertain is becoming stable. Every seed you have sown, every act of generosity, every moment where you gave, even when it was not easy, none of it has been wasted. There is a harvest connected to your faithfulness, and that harvest is being activated. You will see returns. You will experience increase. You will walk in a level of provision that reflects the seeds you have planted. You are stepping into financial peace. Not just temporary relief, but a sustained sense of stability, a confidence that remains even when circumstances shift, because your peace is not tied to numbers. It is rooted in your source. And as long as your source remains constant, your peace remains secure. Open the comment section and type with expectation. I read financial breakthrough this week because when you declare it, you are aligning your voice with your faith. And your declaration becomes a point of agreement that not only strengthens your expectation, but also inspires others to believe for their own breakthrough. There is a divine rhythm to strength and vitality that goes beyond physical effort. A sustaining power that flows when your body, mind, and spirit come into alignment with the life that God has ordained for you. In this moment, you are not merely seeking relief from fatigue or escape from weakness. You are stepping into a renewal that reaches into every cell, every system, every function of your being. There is a restoration taking place that is both gentle and powerful, steady and undeniable. As you open yourself to receive the strength that does not come from striving, but from connection, you have carried weariness that words could not fully express. Moments where your body felt heavy, where your mind felt clouded, where your energy seemed drained by the demands placed upon you. But today there is a shift. You are no longer agreeing with exhaustion as your identity. You are no longer accepting weakness as your normal. You are stepping into a higher reality where strength is renewed, where energy is restored, where vitality becomes your portion. The word declares in Isaiah 40:31, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. This is not poetic language without substance. This is a promise that carries power. It speaks of a renewal that defies natural limitations, a strength that is replenished in ways that cannot be explained by human understanding. And as you anchor yourself in this truth, you begin to experience that renewal. Your body is not designed to function under constant strain without restoration. There is a divine balance that must be honored, a rhythm of rest and renewal that sustains you. And in this moment, you are being invited into that rhythm. You are releasing the pressure to constantly push, to constantly perform, to constantly produce, and you are embracing a flow where restoration is not an afterthought, but a priority. There are areas in your physical health that have been calling for attention, signals that your body has been sending, indications that something needs to shift. And today you are listening. You are becoming more aware, more attentive, more intentional about how you care for yourself. Because stewardship of your body is an act of honor, a recognition that what you carry is valuable, that your health matters, that your well-being is essential. 3 John 1:2 declares, Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers. This is a holistic vision of well-being, one that includes your physical health, your mental clarity, your emotional stability, your spiritual strength, It is a reminder that you are meant to thrive in every area, that your health is not separate from your purpose but connected to it. There is a healing presence moving through you right now, touching areas that have felt weak, restoring what has been depleted, strengthening what has been strained. This is not forced. It is flowing. It is not rushed. It is steady. And as you remain open, as you remain receptive, you begin to notice subtle shifts, an increase in energy, a lightness in your body, a clarity in your mind. You are not defined by past diagnoses, by previous limitations, by moments where your body did not respond the way you hoped. You are stepping into a new narrative, one where healing is possible, where strength is accessible, where restoration is unfolding. And as you embrace this narrative, you begin to align your thoughts, your words, your actions with it. Your mind and body are connected, and as your thinking shifts, your physical experience begins to reflect that shift. Stress begins to decrease, tension begins to release, your system begins to respond to the peace that you are cultivating. Because peace is not just emotional, it has physical impact. It influences how your body functions, how your systems operate, how your energy flows. This week, you will not ignore the needs of your body. You will not push past your limits without consideration. You will move with wisdom, with awareness, with intention. You will rest when needed, nourish yourself appropriately, create space for restoration. And in doing so, you are partnering with the healing that is already in motion. There is a strengthening taking place in your muscles, in your immune system, in your internal processes. What once felt weak is becoming strong. What once felt unstable is becoming steady. What once felt depleted is being replenished. And this strengthening is not temporary. It is building a foundation for sustained vitality. You are stepping into a level of health that supports your purpose, that enables you to move forward with confidence, that allows you to engage fully with the opportunities before you. Because your assignment requires energy, your calling requires strength, your journey requires endurance, and you are being equipped for it. Every breath you take in this moment carries life, carries renewal, carries strength. As you inhale, you are receiving. As you exhale, you are releasing tension, releasing fatigue, releasing anything that does not align with the vitality you are stepping into. And with each breath, you are becoming more centered, more grounded, more aligned. You are not alone in this process. There is a presence with you, guiding you, sustaining you, restoring you. And as you continue to trust, to align, to receive, you will find that your strength is not something you have to chase. It is something that is already being supplied. Open the comment section and type with calm confidence, "Diamond strength is restoring me," because when you declare it, you are affirming what is already happening within you, and your words will encourage someone else who is feeling weak to believe that renewal is possible for them too. There is a divine orchestration at work in your relationships, a careful alignment that goes beyond coincidence, beyond chance encounters, beyond surface level connections. In this moment, you are stepping into an awareness that the people in your life are not random, that every connection carries potential, that every relationship has the capacity to either propel you forward or pull you away from your purpose. And today, there is a recalibration taking place, a refining of connections, a strengthening of what is aligned, and a releasing of what is not. You have encountered relationships that brought joy, relationships that brought lessons, and relationships that brought challenges. Some lifted you, some stretched you, and some revealed parts of you that needed healing. But none of it has been wasted. Every interaction has contributed to your growth, to your understanding, to your discernment. And now you are moving with a greater clarity, a deeper awareness of what aligns with your purpose and what does not. There is a grace being released over your relationships, a favor that allows connections to flow with ease, with understanding, with mutual respect. You are no longer striving to maintain what is forced. You are no longer holding on to what is draining. You are no longer tolerating what is misaligned. Instead, you are embracing what is life-giving, what is supportive, what is aligned with who you are becoming. The word declares in Proverbs 3:4, "Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man." This favor is not superficial. It is substantial. It is a grace that opens doors, that softens hearts, that creates opportunities for connection that are rooted in purpose. And as this favor rests upon you, you will find that relationships begin to shift that interactions become more meaningful, that connections deepen in ways that reflect divine intention. There are people who are being drawn to you in this season. Individuals who carry something that complements your journey, who bring insight, encouragement, and alignment. These are not accidental encounters. They are strategic connections. And as you remain open, as you remain discerning, you will recognize them. You will sense the alignment. You will feel the ease. You will know that these connections are part of the unfolding of your purpose. At the same time, there are relationships that are gently fading, connections that are no longer aligned with where you are going. And this is not something to resist. It is something to understand. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some are seasonal, some are transitional, some are designed to serve a purpose for a specific time. And as you grow, as you evolve, as you move forward, it is natural for certain connections to shift. Ecclesiastes 4:9 reminds you, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. This speaks to the power of aligned partnership, the strength that comes from walking with those who support, who uplift, who contribute positively to your journey. And as you step into this understanding, you become more intentional about who you walk with, more discerning about who you allow into your inner circle. You are not meant to walk this journey alone, but you are also not meant to walk it with everyone. There is a balance, a wisdom that guides you in choosing connections that reflect your values, your direction, your purpose. And as you align with this wisdom, your relationships begin to reflect that alignment. There is a healing taking place in areas where relationships have been strained, where misunderstandings have created distance, where hurt has created barriers. And as you open your heart, as you release the need to hold on to past grievances, you create space for restoration. This does not mean returning to what was, but it means allowing healing to take place so that you can move forward without carrying unnecessary weight. You are learning to communicate with clarity, to express with honesty, to listen with understanding. These are the foundations of healthy relationships, the elements that allow connections to thrive. And as you grow in these areas, you will notice a difference in how you relate to others, in how you engage, in how you connect. This week, you will experience favor in your interactions. Conversations will flow with ease, connections will deepen, opportunities for collaboration will emerge. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, engaging with the right people, because you are aligned with the flow of divine connection. There is also a strengthening of existing relationships, bonds that are being reinforced, connections that are being deepened. Trust is being built. Understanding is being expanded. Unity is being established. And as these relationships grow, they become a source of support, of encouragement, of strength. You are not settling for surface level connections. You are stepping into meaningful relationships that add value, that reflect purpose, that contribute to your growth. And as you do, you will find that your environment shifts, that your circle reflects your direction, that your connections support your journey. Every interaction you have this week carries potential. Potential for connection, for growth, for alignment. And as you approach each moment with awareness, with intention, with openness, you will begin to see the hand of God in your relationships, guiding, connecting, aligning. Open the comment section and type with intention, Divine Connections locate me this week. Because when you declare it, you are aligning your expectation with what is already being arranged, and your words will encourage others to believe that meaningful, purposeful relationships are being orchestrated for them as well. There is a calling resting upon your life that is not accidental, not random, not secondary to anyone else's assignment, but divinely designed with precision and intention. In this moment, you are awakening to the reality that your life carries purpose, that your existence is tied to a greater plan, and that this week is not just another sequence of days, but a strategic window where movement toward your destiny is being activated. You are not wandering. You are being led. You are not guessing. You are being guided. And as you lean into this awareness, something within you begins to rise with clarity and confidence. There have been times when you questioned your direction, moments where uncertainty clouded your vision, seasons where you wondered if you were truly on the right path. But today, there is a divine reassurance settling within you. You are exactly where you need to be for this moment, and everything you have experienced has been preparing you for what is ahead. Nothing has been wasted. Every lesson, every delay, every challenge has contributed to the shaping of your capacity to carry what is coming. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This is not a distant promise. It is a present reality. It means that your future is not uncertain in the hands of God. It is intentional. It is structured. It is filled with purpose. And as you align yourself with this truth, you begin to move with a different level of assurance, a confidence that is not shaken by temporary circumstances. There is a stirring within you, a sense that there is more, that there is something greater you are meant to step into. That stirring is not random. It is an indication of purpose calling you forward. And today you are responding. You are no longer ignoring that inner prompting. You are no longer delaying what you know you are called to do. You are stepping forward, even if the steps feel small, even if the path is not fully visible, because you trust that each step will be met with guidance. Purpose is not always revealed in its entirety. It unfolds as you move. It becomes clearer as you take action, as you engage, as you step into opportunities that align with what has been placed within you. And this week, there are opportunities that will present themselves, moments that require your response, spaces that invite your participation, doors that open as you approach them. These are not coincidences. They are part of the unfolding of your assignment. Proverbs 16:9 reminds you, "In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." This means that while you may have ideas, goals, and intentions, there is a higher guidance that is directing your movement, aligning your steps with a greater purpose. And as you remain sensitive to that guidance, as you remain open to adjustment, you will find yourself moving in sync with divine direction. There is a boldness being released within you, a courage to step into spaces that once felt intimidating, a confidence to pursue what once felt out of reach. You are no longer shrinking back, no longer second guessing, no longer hesitating. You are stepping forward with intention, with clarity, with a sense of purpose that anchors your actions. You are not defined by your past limitations. You are not restricted by previous experiences. You are not confined to what you have always known. You are expanding, you are growing. You are stepping into a dimension where your capacity is increasing, where your vision is broadening, where your impact is deepening. And as this expansion takes place, you begin to see possibilities that were not visible before. This week, you will encounter moments that require alignment with your purpose. Decisions that may seem small but carry significance. Interactions that may appear ordinary but hold potential. And as you remain aware, as you remain intentional, you will recognize these moments and respond accordingly. Because purpose is often revealed in the details, in the small steps that lead to larger outcomes. There is also a refining taking place, a process where distractions are being removed, where unnecessary commitments are being released, where your focus is being sharpened. This is not a loss. It is a preparation. It is creating space for what truly matters, for what aligns with your assignment, for what contributes to your destiny. You are learning to prioritize differently, to invest your time and energy in what carries purpose, to say no to what does not align, to remain focused on what matters most. And as you do, you will find that your progress accelerates, that your movement becomes more intentional, that your results begin to reflect your alignment. There is a sense of fulfillment that comes when you are walking in purpose, a deep satisfaction that goes beyond external achievements. It is the knowing that you are doing what you were created to do, that you are contributing in a way that matters, that your life is making an impact. And this is what you are stepping into, a life that is not just busy but meaningful. You are not alone in this journey. There is a guidance that is constant, a presence that is leading, a wisdom that is available to you at every step. And as you remain connected, as you continue to seek, to listen, to respond, you will find that your path becomes clearer, that your direction becomes more defined, that your steps become more confident. Open the comment section and type with bold intention, "I step into my purpose this week," because when you declare it, you are activating your alignment, and your words will not only solidify your commitment, but also inspire someone else who has been hesitating to take their step into purpose to move forward with confidence. There is a divine momentum building around your life, a sacred acceleration that is not dependent on human effort alone, but is activated by alignment with heaven's timing. In this moment, you are stepping into a realm where delays lose their authority, where stagnation loses its grip, and where progress begins to move with a speed that confirms divine orchestration. You are not being rushed. You are being released into timing that has already been prepared for you. There have been seasons where things felt slow, where answers seemed delayed, where opportunities appeared distant. But what you are experiencing now is not the absence of progress. It is preparation for acceleration. God does not rush without reason. He prepares before he propels, and everything you have walked through has been shaping you for a moment where movement becomes swift, where doors open without struggle, where alignment produces rapid results. Habakkuk 2:3 declares, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it linger, wait for it. It will surely come." This speaks to divine timing. It means that what has been delayed in your perception has not been denied in your destiny. There is an appointed time, and in that time, things begin to align quickly, accurately, and powerfully. And you are now stepping into that appointed window. You're beginning to notice shifts, small at first, but significant. Conversations that lead somewhere, opportunities that arrive unexpectedly. Ideas that come with clarity and urgency. These are signs of acceleration. They are indicators that what was once moving slowly is now being moved forward by divine momentum. And as you remain aligned, these moments will increase. This acceleration is not chaotic. It is ordered. It is not rushed. It is precise. It does not bring confusion. It brings clarity. Because when God accelerates your life, he does not bypass purpose. He enhances it. Every step still matters. Every decision still counts. But the pace is adjusted to match what has already been prepared in the spirit. Isaiah 60:22 declares, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen quickly." This is a promise of divine speed, of sudden shifts, of unexpected breakthroughs. It means that what took others years can be accomplished in moments when divine timing is active in your life. And you are entering that space where speed and purpose converge. You are no longer stuck in cycles of delay. You are no longer waiting endlessly for things to shift. You are stepping into a flow where movement becomes natural, where resistance decreases, where doors respond to your presence. This is not because of your effort alone, but because alignment has met timing and acceleration is the result. There is a clarity that accompanies this acceleration. You are no longer confused about direction. You are no longer uncertain about next steps. You are being guided with precision, and as you follow that guidance, things begin to unfold faster than expected. What once required long preparation now requires obedience. What once required extensive planning now requires responsiveness. You will notice that this week, certain things will not require struggle. What used to feel heavy will begin to feel lighter. What used to take effort will begin to flow. This is not coincidence. This is alignment with acceleration. It is a sign that heaven is removing resistance and replacing it with flow. There are relationships, opportunities, and ideas that are being fast-tracked into your life. Things that were once distant are being brought closer. Things that were once delayed are being released. And as this happens, you must remain sensitive because acceleration requires awareness. You must recognize what is moving and respond accordingly. You are not chasing what is ahead of you. You are walking into what is already moving toward you. This is a reversal of effort. Instead of striving, you are receiving. Instead of forcing, you are flowing. Instead of pushing, you are aligning. And in this alignment, acceleration becomes natural. There is also a release from unnecessary waiting. Situations that felt paused are being activated. Conversations that were delayed are being resumed. Paths that felt blocked are becoming open. And as these shifts occur, you will begin to see evidence that timing has changed in your favor. You are stepping into a season where results come quicker, where clarity comes faster, where opportunities align with precision. And in this season, patience is no longer about delay. It is about preparation for manifestation, because what is coming is not random. It is synchronized with your readiness. This acceleration will not overwhelm you. It will position you. It will not confuse you. It will clarify you. It will not scatter you. It will focus you. Because divine speed always works in harmony with divine order. Nothing is out of place. Nothing is out of timing. Everything is aligned. As you move through this week, Pay attention to divine signals. Notice what is opening. Notice what is shifting. Notice what is being released. Because acceleration often begins subtly before it becomes visible, and those who are discerning will recognize it early and step into it fully. Open the comment section and type with expectation. My breakthrough is accelerating now. Because when you declare it, you are aligning your awareness with divine timing, and your words will encourage others to recognize that their season of delay is shifting into a season of speed and fulfillment. There is a sacred sealing that takes place when heaven brings a process into completion, not as an ending of hope, but as a confirmation that what was spoken, what was believed, and what was aligned with is now beginning to take visible form. In this moment, you are not standing at a conclusion. You are standing at a threshold of manifestation where unseen seeds are beginning to produce visible results, and where your journey of faith is now producing evidence that can be recognized, experienced, and testified. You have walked through alignment, authority, renewal, healing, provision, strength, connection, purpose, acceleration, and now you arrive at a place of manifestation and testimony, not as something separate from your journey, but as the natural outcome of everything that has been activated within you, because what begins in alignment must eventually produce manifestation. What is spoken in faith must eventually produce evidence. What is declared in the spirit must eventually show up in the natural. The word declares in Mark 11:24, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. This is the posture of completion before visible confirmation. It is the understanding that faith is not waiting for proof to believe. Faith is believing so that proof can appear. And as you stand in this truth, something within you shifts from hoping into knowing, from wishing into expecting, from uncertainty into assurance. There's a quiet confidence settling over your spirit, a deep awareness that what you have been praying for is not lost, not forgotten, not overlooked. It is in process, it is moving, it is unfolding, and in divine timing, it will become visible in ways that confirm that heaven has been working behind the scenes. This is not imagination. This is alignment with unseen reality becoming seen reality. You are entering a season where evidence begins to speak, where what you once declared privately begins to manifest publicly, where what you once believed in silence begins to show up in your surroundings. And when it does, it will not be by coincidence. It will be by design, because God is not random in his fulfillment. He is intentional, precise, and faithful to complete what he begins. Philippians 1:6 reminds you, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. This means your journey is not abandoned halfway. It is not incomplete. It is actively being carried toward fulfillment. And every delay, every pause, every unseen moment has been part of the process that ensures the outcome is stable, strong, and sustainable. There is a shift happening where what was internal begins to externalize, where faith becomes form, where prayer becomes pattern, where expectation becomes experience. And as this happens, you will begin to recognize that nothing you went through was wasted. Everything contributed to this moment of alignment between belief and manifestation. You are not stepping into randomness. You are stepping into results. You are not entering uncertainty. You are entering confirmation. You are not moving into confusion. You are moving into clarity that what God said is indeed coming to pass. And as this unfolds, your confidence will deepen, your faith will stabilize, and your testimony will begin to form. There are signs already appearing, subtle confirmations, small breakthroughs, unexpected alignment that indicates something greater is unfolding. Do not overlook them. These are not coincidences. They are indicators. They are the beginning stages of manifestation, the early evidence of what has been in progress behind the scenes. You are learning to recognize fulfillment not only in large events, but also in small confirmations. A door opening, a conversation shifting, a delay lifting, a peace settling. These are all pieces of a larger testimony forming in your life. And as you acknowledge them, your awareness of God's faithfulness increases. There is a testimony forming that will not just be spoken but lived, a testimony that will not just be remembered but experienced, a testimony that will not just be personal but will inspire others who have been waiting, believing, and trusting for their own breakthrough. Because your life becomes evidence that faith is not empty, that prayer is not silent, that belief is not wasted. You are stepping into a visible expression of invisible faith. And when it fully unfolds, it will confirm that what you held in your heart was not imagination, but revelation. That what you declared in faith was not empty words, but seeds of reality. And that what you believed for was always on its way. As this manifestation begins to unfold, your role is to remain in alignment, to remain thankful, to remain aware, because gratitude stabilizes testimony. Awareness strengthens manifestation, and alignment ensures continuation of what has begun. You are not at the end of something. You are at the beginning of visible fulfillment. And as you continue forward, you will find that what once required faith alone will now be supported by evidence, by experience, by undeniable moments of confirmation. Open the comment section and type with full assurance. My testimony is manifesting now, because when you declare it, you are not just speaking hope. You are agreeing with fulfillment already in motion, and your words will become a point of encouragement for others who are still waiting for their own evidence to appear. And now, as we bring this prayer into a sacred place of sealing, I want you to understand that what you have stepped into is not just a moment of emotional encouragement, but a divine alignment that has shifted something in the atmosphere around your life. You are not leaving this time the same way you entered it, because when heaven touches a surrendered heart, transformation becomes inevitable. Everything you have declared, received, and agreed with in this prayer is not meant to remain as words alone, but to become living evidence in your week. I decree over you that the alignment you have embraced will continue to speak long after this moment ends, opening doors, shifting patterns, and establishing peace where there was once resistance. This is your week of divine order, divine favor, and divine acceleration. What has been delayed is being realigned. What has been hidden is being revealed. And what has been stagnant is now coming into motion. You are walking under an open heaven, and the evidence of that will begin to follow you in ways that cannot be denied. I speak clarity over your mind, peace over your emotions, strength over your body, provision over your hands, and direction over your steps. Every area we have prayed into is now under divine instruction, and you will begin to see the unfolding of what has already been released in the Spirit. And as you go forward from this moment, I want you to carry an awareness that you are not walking alone. There is guidance with you, there is favor before you, and there is protection around you. Even in places where you once felt uncertainty, you will now begin to experience divine confidence and quiet assurance. If this prayer has strengthened your spirit, if it has awakened something